no team ever has, with a style that tested the limits of the league's penchant for control. Mary Carrillo chauffeurs us on an enjoyable ride down memory lane.
We are the Bears shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you.
Remember the 1985 Chicago Bears? Remember how utterly dominant they were? Remember how cheeky they could be?
Well, they call me sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans.
How they could win with insulting ease and laugh at the same time? Bears Hall of Fame linebacker Mike Singletary.
When I think of the 1985 Bears, I think of reckless abandon. I think of fun.
In '85, this team raced out to a 12-0 record with a swarming, intimidating defense and an offense centered around the aging but still great Walter Payton. Their field general and spiritual leader was the irrepressible Jim McMahon, a fast-living partier known to sleep off many hangovers under his quarterback coach's desk.
A lot of times I'd come in the morning, especially on Friday morning, and just fall asleep. And he'd wake me up. He gonna eat lunch? No, just wake me up for practice. Then I'd go back to sleep. I didn't care what I looked like. I mean, what I look like doesn't matter. You know, what I do doesn't matter. What I do on Sunday on the field matters.
And McMahon made sure he did it his way on the field, even if it meant ignoring head coach Mike Ditka. In the 13th game of the season, the Dolphins were beating the Bears with Steve Fuller subbing for an injured McMahon.
Down goes Fuller.
Ditka put Jim in late with instructions to throw long. But the quarterback was more concerned with getting Walter Payton a few more yards so he could break 100 for his 8th consecutive game, a new NFL record.
I said, boys, you know, maybe we can win this game, maybe we can't, but, you know, who cares? I said, he needs, well, however many yards it was to get his 100 yards.
The Bears kicker, Kevin Butler, watched the drama unfold on the sidelines.
Dick is expecting a bomb, I guess, and Walter takes it up for about 7-8 yards. Mike's going crazy, calling timeout. You know, don't you call your own play. Yes, sir, yes, sir. He goes back out there.
I said, boys, it's going to hit the fan now. I said, we're going to run this play here. As soon as we lined up, he knew again.
Payton, first down.
Starts yelling, and I looked over, and he had thrown the clipboard and his headphones, and he'd had it. And to me, that was important, getting the guy's record. That meant a lot more than going undefeated.
I tried to make him something he wasn't. You know, he was not the typical NFL quarterback. He didn't behave like one. He didn't dress like one. And so he was him.
If the whole thing in society is to pout every time you disagree with somebody, forget it.
Why does he say I'm pouting? Because I don't go kiss his means I'm pouting?
As much as Ditka and McMahon feuded, the friction between the head coach and his defensive coordinator, Buddy Ryan, was even worse. These two men scratched and clawed all year, culminating in a fist fight during halftime of the Miami loss. Bears safety, Dave Duerson.
The relationship between Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan is probably best described as two ships passing in the night, one Russian, one American, both with nuclear weapons on board, and they're forced to save mankind.
Everybody makes a big deal out of that. I think Buddy was a great coach, and I respect him tremendously.
There wasn't a relationship between me and Ditka. Mr. Hallis hired me a month before he hired Ditka, and I was in charge of defense. That's the way it was.
Mike only stuck his head in our meeting room one time. And the one time that he did, Buddy threw an eraser at the door and screamed out, "This is my team. These are my guys." And we never saw Ditka again.
The most unlikely hero of Ryan's defense was a fat rookie named William Perry, whose nickname was the Fridge. Ditka made him the #1 draft pick. Of course, Ryan disagreed.
The Fridge was not a great football player. His endurance was terrible. I'd rather have somebody else playing tackle for me.
But true to form, Ditka wanted to show Ryan who was boss. So he took Ryan's reject and played him on offense.
He was no fluke now. He was very agile. I watched him in practice. He would cover 5 yards before anybody. And I said, what would this guy be like in the backfield leading Walter? Well, just hand the ball to him.
And then there was the Monday night. Williams in the backfield.
Hand off to Perry, crosses the right side of the line, touchdown!
Stadium was in pandemonium.
Look at William Perry doing the high five!
And from that point on, overnight, William was a folk hero.
Refrigerator, Perry, he's my main man!
The girth on the mat was unbelievable.
The refrigerator!
We took the whole country by storm.
And And as the playoffs approached, the Bears even recorded a music video. The entire MTV generation was subjected to jocks trying to make music?
That's the only thing I regret of all my years in football. Everybody now refers to me as the punky QB.
I'm the punky QB known as McMahon. When I hit the turf, I've got no plan.
It is pretty funny. I mean, your kids have to laugh when they see it, right?
They say, oh, God, Dad, you guys suck.
Believe it or not, this song went gold. While this team was filled with amateur musicians, they were definitely accomplished partiers.
The Thursday nights were incredible. Thursday nights sometimes made North Dallas 40 look like a G-rated Walt Disney movie. It was a team of great excess.
Buddy Ryan, Mike Ditka, they knew you guys were coming in at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Sure they did. They'd see us coming in because they'd be coming in with us.
I always thought there was a correlation between tequila and good football players.
The Bears dominated the playoffs like no team in history, shutting out both the Giants and the Rams. They were going to the Super Bowl, New Orleans. And this team of partiers bore down on Bourbon Street. McMahon went into hyper-hype. First, he mooned a TV helicopter. And days later, a reporter claimed that McMahon had made disparaging remarks.
Most of the ladies he ran into were sluts. He said most of the people he ran into were stupid.
Dick had come up and said, well, a guy just went on television saying you called all the women of New Orleans sluts and the men were stupid in this town. And now we got women picketing the hotel. Nobody was standing by me at practice. You know, they thought I was going to get shot. I thought I was going to get shot. Well, the game was secondary to me. I just wanted to get out of town alive.
Jimmy Mack was wild and crazy, but Mack was wild and crazy by design. He knew when to do something where it took the rest of the pressure off of the team.
For instance, during the season, McMahon thumbed his nose at NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle by ignoring a rule that prohibited headbands with sponsor logos. In the playoffs, McMahon took it further, writing Rozelle's name on his headbands. And for the Super Bowl, he turned his original into a neck warmer.
Jim knew that we all needed him to be Jim. When Jim was Jim, everybody played harder.
The defense, meanwhile, played for Buddy Ryan, and they'd heard rumors all Super Bowl week that he was leaving after the season. The night before the big game, Ryan addressed his men for the final time.
Well, I knew I was going to Philadelphia, and they did too. I told them all, I said, well, you know, you'll always be my heroes.
Buddy makes his opening speech, and he starts crying. Steve McMichael stands up, takes his chair, throws it at the chalkboard. One leg stuck, the chair literally stuck, suspended in air against the chalkboard.
We were ready to go. We knew that we would dominate that game.
The throw, and down he goes. McMahon deploys Moorhead in motion to the left. Now McMahon fakes the handoff, rolls. Touchdown. Sack on the play. My goodness. Yes, William Perry has scored on a one-yard.
After the Bears thrashed the Patriots 46-10, Mike Ditka got carried off the field. And, fitting for a team with two coaches, so did Buddy Ryan. Have you ever been on a team like that had that crazy, furious, almost manic energy?
No. We were having fun. We were pretty much a traveling carnival that year. Never be a group of guys like that together.
Nobody took anything seriously. I mean, it was just a great time. And when they blew the whistle, we played.